Now, you can listen to Wine and Dine Radio while shopping at the grocery store or your neighborhood wine merchant. Wine and Dine Radio can be heard using your wireless internet on your cell phone. You're listening to iWineRadio. iWineRadio is a production of Food Tastes Better with Wine on the web at iWineRadio.com. Hey guys, I thank you for listening to iWine Radio, and we are still the only wine channel on iTunes Radio. If you go look under iTunes Radio icon and scroll down to News and Talk Directory, and it's listed alphabetically, click on that and the stream comes up immediately. iWineRadio.com, where you can find links to individual guests. And if anyone's interested in advertising or becoming an underwriter or sponsor, please contact us at iWineRadio.com. We really, really appreciate your support. The more support we get, the more conversations I can have with fascinating people around the world, including you. If you have a story to tell that you'd like to share on iWine Radio, go to iWineRadio.com and contact us, and we'll go from there.
Hi, this is Jeff Siegel, the Wine Curmudgeon. Want to find out how you can help support the cause of cheap wine? Then check out the Wine Curmudgeon's Guide to Cheap Wine on Kickstarter.
Jeff Siegel, the Wine Curmudgeon, is joining us today to talk about his latest book release called The Wine Curmudgeon's Guide to Cheap Wine, that you will be able to buy as a paperback and also as an ebook. And he actually promised years ago that he would never write a book again. But here he, if you're a writer, you can't help yourself. And Jeff, thank you so very much for joining us today.
No, thank you, Lynn. It's always a pleasure. No, I swear to you. In fact, I could give you affidavits from people who are tired of hearing me say I would never write another book. But the world has changed so much that, other than the writing part, the rest of it almost is kind of fun.
Okay, now qualify that. Give us some more information on that.
Well, first off, when I started doing this, self-publishing was looked on as kind of like, I don't want to say pornography, but maybe not. But nowadays, self-publishing is becoming the norm. And with things like Kickstarter, here, we'll get a plug coming here for that.
Okay.
I can go to people and say, hey, listen, I've got this great idea for a book, and if you help me pay for the publication, you'll get these terrific premiums. So that's what I did. If you go to Kickstarter, which is the probably the preeminent crowdfunding website, and do search for Wine Curmudgeon, you can participate in publishing the book. And Lynn, I always tell people, it's just like public television without the annoying program interruptions or hosts.
Oh my gosh! So you don't have to pay this money back. This is funding your project. But wow.
So, for instance, let's just say somebody said, hey, that's a great idea. I like Jeff's stuff. You go to Kickstarter, you pledge $25, you'll get a copy of the ebook when it's done, and you'll get a copy of the second edition of the ebook when it's done. So I'm giving you a little value for staking me on this thing and helping me out.
Oh my gosh. And now what if somebody wants a paperback?
Well, let's see. That would be the $50 pledge.
Oh, seriously? I mean, is that how you have it set up?
That's how I've got it set up. The premiums, I actually think the premiums are pretty good. The ebook's $25, the paperback's $50, and then you also get the premium from the first level, so you'll also get a copy of the ebook. Okay. There's still a couple left. I will be happy to take somebody on a tour of a wine store.
Oh, that's a riot. I've done that with people, and it is... They never look at Bordeaux wines the same again.
Well, all I want to do is just, and I've done this before, and I love to do it because then people go, you make them go to a section of the store they've never been in before, and they go, oh, wow, that sounds like it might be interesting. And as you know, we've talked about this many times, half the battle is getting people out of their comfort zone.
Yes.
So they're willing to try something different.
That's a fantastic idea. So tell us what is in your Wine Curmudgeon's Guide to Cheap Wine, and what do you define as cheap? with a top of $12 or $15 or 10?
10. That's what I've been writing on the blog for the last 5 years. Is 10, 12. Every once in a while, 15.
Okay.
The idea with the idea of the book is threefold. First off, that Americans are scared by wine, and so there are no rules. The first thing I want to do is to help people become unscared.
Okay.
The idea being that if you like a wine, drink it. Don't worry about what anybody else says. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I want to explain to people how the wine business works, so that they'll understand why a wine that's $10 is different and not necessarily bad,
right.
worse, better, whatever, than a wine that's $15 or $20.
From that, I don't think anybody's really approached it from that direction.
And, well, that's what makes me the wine curmudgeon. And then the third thing I want to do is I want to give people the knowledge that they can walk into a grocery store, they can walk into a wine store, and they don't have to be intimidated. So the idea that I only want to drink this kind of wine because otherwise people will make fun of me. We have got to get Americans over that. And so those are the kind of the precepts that I'm working on with this thing. The one thing it's not going to be, because I've had people ask me, the one thing it's not going to be is a list of wine to buy.
Okay.
That's anybody can do that. I do that on the blog. 52 wines of the week. What I want to do is to give people what's that old phrase? Give a man a fish.
Oh, yeah.
But if you give them a fishing pole, I want to give them the fishing pole so that they can figure out what to do. Because to me, that's the most fun. That's what's really enjoyable about wine. With
this ebook business, is it proprietary that they have to have one kind of ebook reader or another, or is this it'll work across any platform?
Well, let me tell you one of the funny things about this that I learned. I've got a good friend I've known since my newspaper days named Paul Gerald in Portland, who's done some self-publishing and has talked me through a lot of this. And Paul said, "You're never going to believe this when you get to the ebook formats." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "You're going to need each book. If you look on a book, every book has what's called an ISBN number."
Yeah.
Okay. Every ebook needs a different ISBN number because of the different formats. So you can't read Kindle on this, and you can't read Apple's on this, and so forth. So the woman that's going to be doing the layout and the formatting, I think she said she's got to format the book into 5 or 6 different formats.
Wow.
Yeah, it's. I guess it's back. To date myself, it's kind of we're back in the VHS beta days, and we'll see which one. We'll see which one survives.
And then do you have to pay a fee to have a different ISBN number?
You do. In fact, it's funny you should mention that. And ISBN numbers aren't cheap. I really haven't done a book. I did 5 books in the late '80s and early '90s, not about wine, about other things. I've had many different careers, the ISBN numbers. And when I went to do a budget for this, it was really fascinating. The ISBN numbers cost like a couple of $100. Really? Yes.
Wow, I would never have imagined, but I never really thought about it before.
No, but see, and this is the stuff in the old days, which is basic. I guess the old days in this case would be basically before the last decade or so, when you had publishers and so forth. Mm-hmm. I can get this whole thing done and have the book out for Mother's Day, Father's Day, somewhere in there.
Okay.
And sitting here talking to you, and right now it can be done by Mother's Day or Father's Day. I can have paperback books. I can have ebooks. In the old days, it took 18 months to do a book. And I guess if that's the reason why publishers are having some problems, that might be. I think this technology has really kind of got them by the throat.
Like what's going on with the movie industry and the music industry.
Exactly. And in this case, I mean, maybe this is the future. I don't know if Kickstarter itself is the future of publishing, but I do know. I do have a feeling that there's got to be some way that a bunch of writers would get together and form a co-op and maybe do books that way. Because if you don't need a printing press, then maybe.
Well, how does this paperback printing go? Is it on demand then?
You can still do it the old-fashioned way. And I've got some books going to be done the old-fashioned way, but there actually are companies that will do printing on demand. So literally, let's say you want to buy the paperback book, you're browsing Amazon, you want to buy the Wine Curmudgeon's Guide to Cheap Wine when it comes out, and you're on Amazon, you click a button, it goes to the company that does the printing on demand, and they send you the book.
Oh my gosh! Have you ever thought about as one other avenue of generating another ISBN number? Because you have a great voice to do an audio version in addition to the ebook and the paperback.
Well, once again, I've had several people go, "You're going to do this or you're going to do that."
Yeah.
And thank you, by the way, for I always wanted to be in radio. That was always one of my things I always wanted to do. But what I want to do is get this damn thing written and get it out to people and see if we can make a difference and have it pay for itself, and then move on, and we'll go on to the next bit. This is just so fascinating and so interesting. I want to get this right before I do anything else.
And you have a video out. I'm going to link to the video as well on Kickstarter. You're appealing to, you're just telling people what you want to do and why you want their help.
Yes, exactly.
Wow, Jeff Siegel, the Wine Curmudgeon, out with a brand new guide to cheap wine. This is a cool idea. And when it's published in May, you come back and join us, okay?
I will look forward to it.
We will have links up for you to learn more. And I thank you for listening to Wine and Dine.
Now you can listen to Wine and Dine Radio while shopping at the grocery store or your neighborhood wine merchant. Wine and Dine Radio can be heard using your wireless internet on your cell phone. You're listening to iWineRadio. iWineRadio is a production of Food Tastes Better with Wine, on the web at iWineRadio.com. Hey guys, I thank you for listening to iWine Radio, and we are still the only wine channel on iTunes Radio. If you go look under iTunes Radio icon and scroll down to News and Talk Directory, and it's listed alphabetically, click on that and the stream comes up immediately. iWineRadio.com, where you can find links to individual guests. And if anyone's interested in advertising or becoming an underwriter or sponsor, please contact us at iWineRadio.com. We really, really appreciate your support. The more support we get, the more conversations I can have with fascinating people around the world, including you. If you have a story to tell that you'd like to share on iWine Radio, go to iWineRadio.com and contact us, and we'll go from there.